And welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. Today we're talking all about relationships and how it's tough to find love these days, especially for women in Atlanta. Get this, according to the latest Census Bureau survey, Atlanta has about 80,000 more single women than single men between the ages of 18 and 64. Now, as you see everybody here, joining me now, over there on the far end, Terry Moss, single woman here in Metro Atlanta, Bobby Corey, single guy in the city, and of course, Leslie is back here with us to give some advice along the way. So let's start on the end down there, Terry. You're single. Tell me what it's like these days.
Well, it's like everybody else, it seems. So one thing I've noticed is exactly what the statistics say. There are probably 10 women to every man in the city of Atlanta. Makes it a problem for us. So, you know, we're all just kind of running in circles, hoping someone shows up, I think. We don't know what to do. So, it's been interesting living in this city particularly.
I'm sure. And so what do you think about the advice that you've heard from Leslie specifically today, and also Curtis? I mean, just about things you might want to consider while dating. Has any of that, you know, stood out to you?
One of the things that is the best about her is she makes you realize that it actually can be done. Because when I first started seeing her, it was more like I was so negative about it, but I thought it was kind of funny, and she kind of helped me to feel better about thinking that somebody that's over 30, like myself.
Love yourself first,
yes,
right?
That I could actually get a date. So that's one of the things she had to convince me first off. So that was really good, and she's really opened my mind about the prospect of dating. Something you know you should do, especially if you haven't really done it in a long time. But probably just getting someone to go out, make you go out, feel like going out there and doing it. Because you can kind of get stagnant after a while. So I think that's the big thing that she did.
So, Bobby, where do you meet single women in this city these days? I mean, everybody says, oh, go out. You got to go out. I don't know that it's so much going out. And we're talking here two single individuals, 30 or older, city of Atlanta. So what do you do?
Well, I'm pretty pumped up because I found out that there's 80,000 more girls that are single. Is that right?
Yes, well, 80,000, yes.
I'm going to leave here pretty on a high horse now. But, yeah, there's dating websites. There's the gym. I'm a big fitness advocate, so, working out quite a bit, that's very important to me. The typical bars and the things that you would do, when people think of, like, your typical ways to meet people, it's not really my scene so much. And as I'm sitting here, you can see I'm not very successful with that route or that avenue. So, I think typically kind of where I would look is sort of the gym maybe, or some person that I could go out and do physical activities with.
Yeah, sir, certainly. But, I mean, you have reason to get your hopes up now, too, obviously, with the ratio here of men to women and women to men, right?
Strong ratio, yeah.
So I want to talk about, dates, and then, Leslie, you chime in and tell me what you think may have worked or didn't work. We'll begin with you, Terry. Maybe your best date. Do you have a best date?
Well, it's funny you mentions the gym because I own a gym, and I can't seem to get a date in there, so maybe that's the problem.
Are we going to make a match here on the program today?
That's how you do. You need to come on a television show,
that's
and
right.
then you can get a date. So, yes, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, just maybe one of your better dates that you've had, and how, or worst, whatever you want to start off with.
Right. I mean, some of the best dates I've had have been with people that I know, so I can understand what he's saying about the gym. You see them, you see them every day, or you kind of get to know them as a person, and then you have a date. Those are really the best to me. So it's really hard to date strangers and try to build a relationship based on the fact that you're trying to date. But I know some people are really successful on it, with the online dating and things.
Right. It's
been a problem for me because it's like right off the bat, I think the guy's probably just trying to get a date, which he's actually trying to get a date. So then, it's like you want them to be interested in you, but yet they don't know you, so it makes it a little difficult. So.
Okay, and what do you think, Corey?
I've had a few bad dates. So, one that jumps out at mind, I'm in the medical sales profession, and I went on a date with somebody in a similar field, and, when you start thinking of things to interact with, she was immediately talking about stuff that is very graphic within the first 3 minutes of the date. Talking about the gloves on and everything, and it's pretty interesting first 5 minutes. But then the other glaring thing that kind of jumps out at me was that she was talking about her timeline. For jumping right in.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of a too soon. It's first date. We've met in the first 5 minutes, And it was funny, we actually went for a jog. That was the day. So I figured it would be kind of relaxed. It would take the pressure off of it. But when you're talking about kids in your first 5 minutes, you're kind of like, whoa.
Right.
Step back.
So Leslie, I mean, you summarized this here. I mean, probably don't want to talk, tell your whole life story in the first 5 minutes or talk about having children when you've just met somebody, right? I mean, what other advice to close this out do you have?
For a woman, I think that on the first few dates, like 1 through 3 possibly, you should just show up and have a good time. You shouldn't take it too seriously. Just ask a few questions, and when you're asked questions, can you give, somewhat short answers, and not to make it seem like you're too desperate or, this is a focus where I'm looking for my husband. Just show up and have a good time.
Great. Thank you guys so much. And Atlanta, look, we have 2 single individuals right here. So come on, get out there, start dating, and we'll have much more and wrap up this week's show coming up right after this break. Thanks, guys.